Hey YouTube, how you doing? It's me, Jernigan, 6 Year Middle Age Natural Beauty. I'm back with a video regarding a healthcare topic. A lot of you guys know that I am a nurse, and I've been a nurse for probably longer than some of you guys been on this earth. And it's a career that I really enjoy. But I do like to share every now and then things that I learn, new things that I learn, whether it be by experience, personal experience, or experience with one of my patients that I care for, or shared experiences from my family and friends. Excuse me. Okay, so just to get those of you who have not been subscribed to me for a very long time, just to get you up to speed on what this channel is about. My channel has been in the past primarily about hair. Locks in particular. I had 2 lock journeys. Well, actually 3, maybe 4. Anyway, but I chronicled my lock journey. Cut my hair off, obviously. And decided to make this a variety channel. So there's going to be a little bit of everything here. You'll see my jewelry that I make, pair of earrings that I made. You'll see hats and things that I crochet. I'll share health tips, or not necessarily tips, but I'll just share health information with you. And whatever comes to mind, whatever we feel like talking about. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, because this one is, I'm going to share a personal experience that maybe some of you have experienced before, but maybe not. So, without further ado, the topic that I'm going to discuss tonight is hypokalemia. Hypokalemia is low blood potassium. Now, some of you may have seen on my Facebook channel, my Facebook page, excuse me, where I had posted a video of, not a video, I'm sorry, a picture of me sitting in urgent care. The reason I was in urgent care was because my blood potassium level was low. What was the cause of that? The cause of that was my blood pressure medication. Now, I've been taking blood pressure medications for about 10 years now. I don't think it's food related, because many of you may know that I am a pescatarian. Before I became just like a pescatarian, I was a vegetarian for a little while. The one thing, my blood levels, everything except my my potassium was okay. But anyway, I want to share some of the symptoms that I experienced. But I also want to tell you why my blood pressure medication kind of set me up to be hypokalemic. My blood pressure medication is made up of 2 different medications. One is a diuretic, which is a water pill, and the other one is a calcium channel blocker, which basically just controls the blood pressure, but the diuretic pulls the water, the fluid out of my body. As it pulls the fluid out of my body, which it makes me, I'm just going to be very honest with you guys, it kind of makes me urinate a lot. I take so many trips to the bathroom wherever I go, and I am one of those people that have to know where the bathroom is, because when that urge to go urinate hits me, when I have to pee, it's an urgent sensation. So I have to know where the bathrooms are at all times, which is really, it sucks. It really sucks to have to be that way. It's kind of like those commercials that you guys see where people have an overactive bladder. I kind of feel that way. So anyway, so anybody who's watching this video, if you're not a man, well, I'm sorry, if you are a man, this does not apply to you. And maybe it does. I don't know how you would protect yourself, but for us, for women, I have found that sometimes you have to use a sanitary napkin or some type of pad to, control what may be a leakage or yes, partial incontinence. Incontinence is basically peeing on yourself. Urinary incontinence, basically peeing on yourself. So, yeah, these blood pressure medications that contain diuretics, they make you do that. At the same time, while it's pulling all that fluid from you, it's pulling your potassium as well. So, all of these years that I've been taking my medication, my doctor has been keeping track of my potassium, but never like really focusing on it. He was focusing more on the things that could cause me to be pre-diabetic, which I'm not. My levels are fine. Yeah, so anyway, the symptoms that I was having was subtle at first. I found myself being a little lightheaded. Sometimes when I cough or laugh really hard, I'd get lightheaded. And I found it kind of hard to concentrate. It was like almost like I had to really, really focus deeply and focus really hard to make sure that I stayed on point with whatever intellectual task was at hand. I started getting this tingling in my shoulder. It was just in this shoulder, but I thought that it might have been related to the surgery I had on my neck years and years ago, but apparently it wasn't. There was times when I felt very, very weak. Not to the point where I was like, like I was gonna just fall out or anything like that. Nothing like that. But I did feel weak. I felt like, oh my God, I had low energy. I would sit down even when I was at work, and I was like, what is wrong with me? I would sit down, and if I'm sitting in front of the computer at work, I would find myself nodding off, even after a good 8 hours sleep. Okay, so that was like strange to me, but I still was like, okay, well, it must be because, I didn't know what to attribute it to, but I didn't focus on any blood levels, any deficiencies in my blood. Okay, what really started getting me though was I would start eventually, slowly but surely, I started to feel a heaviness in my legs. And I thought, well, I had gained weight. So I said, well, maybe it's because I gained weight. And I was going to the gym. I was walking on the treadmill, and I was like, I stay an hour on the treadmill. I just don't feel like I'm doing anything if I don't stay an hour. So I stay an hour on the treadmill, and I noticed that no matter how many days a week I was going to the gym, and walking on the treadmill, I didn't really get a lot of results, which is unusual for me because I usually get fast results. Also, my digestion was really, really slow. Now, one thing about me that I'm really happy about, whether I drink a lot of water or not, which I should, because I take the diuretic, well, the combination of blood pressure medication, I should drink a lot of water, but my digestion was a little bit slower than it had normally been, but I usually have really good digestion. I can count on my bowels to move every day. Little TMI, but we're talking medical information, clinical information, healthcare information, and this is important for you guys to know, so that's why I'm sharing it with you guys. So those are some of the things that really kind of bothered me. At one point, I started having like palpitations. And then me too. And you know, nurses are the worst patients. So I ignored it. Yes, I did. I ignored it. I didn't ignore it. I took note of it, but I didn't attribute it to whatever, you know, to my blood pressure medication until one day, I think it was actually 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago on a Sunday. I was sitting here with my nephew and I took my blood pressure medication, and I was fine before I took the medication, but within 30 minutes, I got up from the sofa and I was coming. I only have like 2 stairs that lead from the den up to the other level of the house. So I got up and I was walking up those stairs, and it was like my legs weighed. They felt like they weighed twice as much as they usually do. It was a chore to walk up those stairs. And I was holding on to the stuff as I walked. I felt really like heavy, very heavy. And then there was pain from my pelvic area down to my feet, and I would have cramps in my toes. So, you know, like you be sitting there and your toes just like all of a sudden cramp, and then you're like, yeah, really like that. Your toes cramp and then they get stuck in a certain position. That's what I was feeling. So I didn't do anything that day, but when I went to work the next day, I called my doctor, which I didn't call him. I sent him a message, and the nurse returned my call. Well, she called me at work, and she was asking me about my symptoms. And then when I told, everything she was saying, she was hitting it, you know, it was like a hammer hitting the nail right on the head. She was listing all of my symptoms, and she said, "Janet, can you walk?" And I was like, "Yeah, I can walk." And she said, "Well, you need to get to urgent care right now." And I was like, "Why?" And then she said, "Well, my blood level," she went back in my records, and the last time I had been to the doctor was like 2 months ago, and my potassium was low then. It wasn't critically low, but everybody shows symptoms differently. So apparently I need to be within the normal range, and more on the high end of the normal range, because my symptoms are profound even if I'm like 1 point lower than the normal range, which is what I was. 1 point lower than the normal range is 3.5, I think, to 5.5, and I was at 3.4. But my doctor said my symptoms were so profound that I needed to get to urgent care right away. So I went to urgent care, and I left work, you know, and I went to urgent care. First, I was trying to bargain, like, can I stay at work? Can I finish work first? But no. But that's the nurse in me. You know, we nurses, we take care of you, but we sometimes neglect ourselves. Anyway, I said, you know what? I'm going to urgent care. So I went to urgent care, talked to the doctor. First, you know, he was like, you know, doctors, let me tell you this to you guys. A doctor's going to take you as serious as you take yourself. So when you go to the doctor and they start telling you before they even look at you what's wrong with you, make sure you say, "Excuse me, doctor, but let me tell you how I've been feeling. Let me tell you why I'm here." And you know, sometimes you gotta don't let them just dictate your health, because that's your health, that's your body. Anyway, so I had to interrupt the doctor because he came in, he pulled up my labs on the screen, and he said, "Well, you know, you're blah 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 blah." And I said, "Look," I said, "I'm a nurse, and I'm gonna tell you what I did before I came here." So I told him all the research I had done. Really, I thought what I was experiencing was side effects of long-term use of my medication. But when he looked at the notes that the nurse had wrote in there, and then they drew a bunch of labs and stuff like that. They didn't do an EKG. He checked my blood pressure. It was a little bit high. Excuse me, and that was even after I had taken my medication. But it's always that way for me. Like if I'm going to the doctor and I take my medication, it gets a little high. But oh well. Anyway, so after that, he kind of fast tracked me, and he sent me to get my labs, and after he got my labs, it took them like 30 minutes to get them processed and sent back to him. So I was there maybe 2.5 hours altogether. And for urgent care, that's fast track. So excuse me for coughing. That's a side effect of my medication. But anyway, so I ended up with a prescription of potassium. So yeah, I took my first pill, and after I took my first pill, I felt a little bit better. I felt kind of like within 30 minutes, I felt like my legs were a little bit less heavy and less painful. So I've been on the medication now for about maybe close to a week. And he said it would probably take a week before I felt 100% better. But I'm feeling a lot more rested. My digestion is better. I have not had any palpitations, heart palpitations. And I think I might have had just a couple of spasms in my toes. But that's gone. My digestion is getting back to normal. I'm still regular, but yeah, I just don't see the results. I still feel like I'm kind of bloated, but you know, it'll take a while, not a while, but it'll go down. And what else? Oh, that tingling sensation is gone. I feel more alert. When I'm at work now, there's no nodding off at my computer. Yeah, so I think that's about it. That's all I was feeling. And I feel a little bit more energized. But I've also started taking my B12 again. I take it. You guys remember when I made that vaping video? Well, I no longer take B12 by vape, because, as a matter of fact, only after that one pen, I never did anymore. But I just take the pills, the gummies. So yeah. So these I'm going to leave you with these signs and symptoms of potassium deficiency, which is called hypokalemia, for those of you who take blood pressure medication. So please, please, please keep track of your potassium level. Make sure that your doctor is taking your levels, and there are foods that help you with potassium, like bananas, leafy green vegetables, avocados. I think those are a few that are really, really good in potassium, and also oranges too. So these are some of the signs of hypokalemia, and they may vary in severity depending on you as a person. For me, I've already told you the ones that like really, really hit me hard. So you feel muscle pain, and heaviness in your legs, weakness and fatigue. Sometimes you get cramps and spasms, and you get this tingling sensation, heart palpitation, digestive and muscle aches and stiffness. What else? The tingling numbness I already told you about. And sometimes the palpitations can lead to shortness of breath. So mine didn't get to that point, and I'm grateful, because I think had it gotten to that point, it would have been pretty bad for me. I don't think I would have passed away or anything like that, but I'm just saying it just would have been pretty bad for me. I probably would have had to stay in the hospital and get my potassium through an IV. Okay, and it said you can have mood changes too, but you feel bad like that, of course your mood's going to change. So some of the foods that you can take, that you can eat to raise your potassium level or to maintain your potassium level, or beets and greens, yams, white beans, clams, white potatoes, sweet potatoes, avocados, pinto beans, and bananas. So that's a list of the things that can help you out with your potassium. I am taking the supplements right now because I want to boost my levels up, and yeah, I don't eat a lot of these foods that they're talking about here. I do love avocados, and when I say they, I'm looking at a screen behind my. Well, I have my camera set up on top of my computer screen. So yeah, so just so that I can read some of the information for you guys. Anyway, I hope this video was helpful to you all. And if you have any questions or for me personally about my experience, please ask in the comment section. Or if you have any experience that you would like to share, please put them in the comment section. So yeah, anyway, if you have not already, please subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell to be informed when I upload another video. Share the video because I'm pretty sure you guys know somebody who could probably benefit from this information. And like, okay? Anyway, you guys have a wonderful evening. This is Jernigan 6, your middle-aged natural beauty.